Now, before we go live, let me pull the correct file. Give me a minute. 1 minute. Okay, let me do the live stream here. So actually, we're already live streaming. Didn't know that. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Judge Tamika West Bernard. I am presiding over the preliminary hearing calendar for this afternoon. This is officially 12:18 p.m. I'm officially calling the state of Georgia versus Kenneth Williams for warrant number 2022 CW 55194 for the charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And then the second charge, warrant number 2022 CW 55195 for the charge of kidnapping. The state is represented by ADA Cheryl Freeman and the defendant Kenneth Williams, who is appearing via live stream at the Clayton County Jail, will be represented by Attorney Jonathan Melnick. At this time, is the state ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, please proceed.
Thank you. Officer Calover, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear and affirm that the testimony about to provide in the matter of state of Georgia versus Kenneth Williams will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Please tell, you can lower your hand. Please tell us your name and how you're employed.
Officer Kirilova with Clayton County Police Department,
How long have you worked with the Clayton County Police Department?
going for 5 years.
Were you working with the Clayton County Police Department on November 20th of 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
And on that particular day, did you respond to a person armed call at 7883 North Main Street?
That is correct.
What exactly is at that address?
This is in Clayton County. It's a part of Plaza, the Goodwill Plaza on intersection of Highway 138 and Sarah Boulevard.
When you arrived at that location, officer, did you speak with anyone?
Yes, I met with the complainant, with the caller initially.
And who was the complainant?
He is one of the owners of the convenience store, which is incident location.
What did the owner of the convenience store tell you that happened?
He said he called the police because he observed a male was chasing female with the gun in his hand. However, when I started questioning him, he gave me full story. He said he observed yellow Jeep Wrangler was stopped at the red light at intersection of 138 and South Main Street. And he saw the female jump out of the vehicle from the passenger side, and she ran toward shopping plaza. So when she was already at the plaza, she was walking toward his convenience store when the Jeep turned around and blocked her way. The complainant observed the male was trying to speak with the female, and they were yelling and arguing, but he did not hear what exactly was said. Then the complainant observed the female started trying to get inside his store, and the male jumped out of driver's side and started chasing her. So the caller locked the door. So when the victim was inside the store, he went behind her and locked the door to prevent the male from coming in. And the next thing they observed through the glass door, the male pulled the gun out of his belt and racked it. Complainant said he did not see who he was pointing at because him, his father, and some other bystanders, they moved to the side away from the glass door, and the victim ran to the back of the store.
When you arrived there,
That's what he
officer,
told me.
I'm sorry? Oh, was the victim still at the store?
He was ready.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
hear
When I
me?
walked inside the store, she came from. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
When I
Was
walked
the victim
inside-
still
when I
there?
walked inside- Yes, ma'am. She came from behind. She was in a storage part of the store. She came from behind the shelves. Yes, ma'am.
Did you get a chance to speak with her?
Yes, ma'am.
What did she tell you that happened?
She said the man who was chasing her was her former boyfriend, which she broke up with a month ago. She said that she did not hear or see him for 2 weeks prior to this incident. And that day he showed up at her house when she was getting ready to work. She said that she was in the shower and obviously he was knocking on doors and windows, but she could not respond because she was getting ready to work. At the time when she left from her house, she headed to her vehicle to put her belongings, her car key, her phone, her purse in her car when she saw him parked behind her vehicle. So he asked her to give him a minute to speak. The victim said that she did not want to be arguing in front of neighbors, so she entered his vehicle. And according to her, she told to her ex-boyfriend to leave her alone. She has no time to talk to him. She has to be at work. And he just started driving. He locked the doors and started driving away from home. The victim asked him, "Where are you taking me?" And according to victim, her ex-boyfriend told her that I have everything premeditated to you. She said he repeated about 5-6 times during this trip to that red light at Highway 138 and South Main Street. That was the first red light, and she was able to escape from the vehicle.
Did the victim indicate how she was able to escape from the vehicle?
Yes, she said she just opened the door and jumped out.
Did she say whether or not the car was stopped at this time or was it still moving?
No, it was stopped at a red light. I asked her why she did not try to escape before, and she said that was no any red light. Basically, when I was taking her back to her house, it was only one light on the way to that light, and obviously it was not red, so he did not stop before that particular location. First time he stopped, she was able to escape.
Was the victim able to give you a description or the name of her ex-boyfriend?
Yes, ma'am. She gave me his name and his description, his date of birth, his family address where she said he lived.
And what was the name the victim gave to you?
Kenneth Jerome Williams.
Was Mr. Kenneth Williams on the scene when you got there?
No, ma'am, he was not.
Did you go to his address to look for him?
That is out of Clayton County jurisdiction. However, when I checked his information with GCIC and I pulled his image, the victim and witnesses identify him. That was the same person.
Did the victim have any bruises on her from this incident? Hello, officer.
Still there?
Officer Kalova, I think you froze.
Oh, ma'am. She did not.
She did not? Officer Kalova, just want to confirm, she did not have any bruises.
Yes, ma'am.
On her phone.
She did not have any bruises, is that correct?
No, ma'am. That is correct. No bruises.
Okay. Did this happen in Clayton County?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you able to get any video surveillance from the convenience store that captured any of these incidents? Officer Kalova, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. It's reconnected.
Okay. Were you able to gather any video surveillance from the convenience store or this plaza that would have captured any of this?
Surprisingly, none of cameras were working.
Were there any other witnesses to the incident?
Well, besides the witness, which is listed on my police report, which is one of the store owners, that was his elderly father, and several bystanders from the neighboring businesses. His total was about 5 or 6 people. They confirmed what happened. They just did not want to be on the report.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Okay, Attorney Melnick, your witness.
Thank you. Officer Kalova, you reported to 7883 North Main Street pursuant to a 911 call from the convenience store owner or somebody working inside of the convenience store. Is that right?
Now, the caller advised the male was chasing female with the firearm in his hand. That was initial complaint.
Okay. Who was it that made that call?
That's the same witness as listed on my report as Miss Loguer Max, if I pronounce his last name correctly.
Would you say his name again, please?
Can I just spell it for you? His last name is Laguerre, first name Max.
Okay. And you interviewed this witness when you arrived on the scene? Is she frozen again?
I think so.
So you're breaking up. I cannot
Well,
hear you. Sorry, you're breaking up.
okay. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you now. Yes, sir.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we were actually having trouble seeing you. It's a light in the back. That's, yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So the witness claims that the female came out of Mr. Williams' vehicle and ran inside the convenience store. Is that right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. And was Mr. Williams' vehicle parked in the parking lot of the convenience store? Can't tell if I'm frozen or if she's frozen.
No, sir, the vehicle stopped at red light, and when the victim, I'm trying to move around. Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes.
Okay, the vehicle was stopped at a red light at intersection of 138 and South Main Street. And after the victim exited the vehicle and headed toward the parking lot of the shopping plaza, he turned around. And at the time when the victim proceeded toward convenience store, he blocked her way.
He blocked her way, but she was able to get into the convenience store, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
She went around.
She ran around his car?
She exited his vehicle. She said she was running. The witness says she was not running, walking, but fast.
So she was walking away from his vehicle toward the convenience store.
Witness was breaking up. Well, she was. But when she was in a shopping plaza, she probably could not see him turning around because she was, which is an opposite side from the intersection.
Okay. So I don't know about everybody else, but I only got about half of what she just said. It was.
I agree.
Was it?
Yeah. If you could repeat your testimony.
Yes. The victim, when she exited his vehicle, she ran across the street because the vehicle stopped at red light on the street. And when she was on the parking lot, she was already not running, but walking toward the store. I believe she probably did not see him turning around because she faced opposite direction from the roadway. That's where the store located.
Okay. So when the female that was inside of the store, is it your testimony that Mr. Williams was trying to speak with her?
Well, yes, he waved, inviting her to come outside as witness advised, and she shook her head, showing him no. At this point, Mr. Williams, as I was advised by victim and witnesses, he made a step back the same time when he withdrew his gun from his belt.
And this occurred when the witness inside of the store locked the door to the interior of the store. Is that correct?
That is absolutely clear glass door.
Clear
It
glass
was
door.
locked, but she was able to observe in and out.
I understand that, but the gentleman, the witness, locked the door to the interior of the store, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so when the witness called 911, was he able to still see Mr. Williams in the parking lot?
He observed Mr. Williams with a firearm in his hand on his porch when he made 911 call.
So I would actually ask you, officer, to answer the question that I asked you and not add extraneous information to your answer, please. My question was, when the witness called 911, was he able to observe Mr. Williams in the parking lot?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And there's no video surveillance for this entire parking lot nor the convenience store.
That is correct.
Nobody captured this incident on a cell phone video. All of these purported witnesses that apparently didn't want to identify themselves, nobody showed you a cell phone video or anything like that. She there?
Yes. I believe.
Okay. Did anybody get the answer there? Because I did not.
No,
Okay.
sir.
Can you answer out loud, please? Thank you. All right. So you spoke with the alleged victim in this case, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you interview her with your body cam?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And was that in the parking lot? Was that inside the store? Where did that take place?
Where I interviewed victim inside the store.
Inside the store. Did anybody else, speak with her, or was it just you?
That was another officer, White, at scene with me as well.
Was Officer White also in your patrol vehicle, or did he come later?
We came the same time. We were looking for actual location for a few minutes because the address came back to the location behind this plaza, and we did not know this actually the store. We had to call the complainant back to find out where they were at. So
Okay.
he was there from first minute.
Okay. Have you heard from the victim since this incident took place?
No, sir.
Did she send you an email at some point and you directed her to the district attorney's office?
I did not remember any email from her.
So according to the victim, Mr. Williams showed up at her house and she voluntarily got into his vehicle, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And she was apparently on her way to work or something along those lines, but they were driving in his vehicle and then she left his vehicle, correct?
No, it's incorrect. She was not on the way to work in his vehicle. She attempted to drive her own vehicle to work.
Well, but she got into his vehicle voluntarily, correct?
Yes. Yes, sir.
And she was able to leave his vehicle, correct?
No, because she started driving with her in the vehicle.
Well, okay. So when you spoke with the victim in this case, she was no longer in his vehicle, correct?
Yes, sir.
At some point, she was able to leave the vehicle, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And so did she tell you that he threatened her in any way with the firearm?
Not at that particular time, but she said they had a history of him pointing gun at her and threatening to kill her. But
Have
not
you,
that day.
did you pull any other incident reports involving any other incident involving these two individuals?
Not of my knowledge.
And you're saying that when you interviewed her with your body cam footage, that
Yes,
she
sir.
said that he had previously threatened her with a firearm?
That's what she stated.
All right. And you did not observe any injuries to her?
I'm sorry, can you repeat, please, because you're still breaking up?
Did you observe any injuries to the victim?
No, sir.
All right. Did you take anybody besides the victim and the person who called 911?
No, sir.
You know if any other officer took any other witnesses? Took any other statements? I'm sorry.
I don't believe so.
All right. The witness in this case was able to speak to you fluently in English, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Was his statement also recorded on your body cam?
Yes.
That's all the questions I have.
Okay, do you have any redirect?
No, Your Honor, the state rests.
I did have, I guess I just have one or two questions to clarify the facts here for the witness. According to the application, the warrant application, it appears that there was a statement in here where it says the accused told the victim while they were riding that he had everything premeditated and she was not coming home after tonight. Do you recall including that in your warrant application, officer?
Yes, ma'am. It's also on my police report.
Okay, is that statement still accurate today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Was she able to describe the the suspect's vehicle to you?
Yes, it's yellow Jeep Wrangler Rubicon.
Okay, and just to be clear, I may have missed it. He was not on the scene. The suspect was not on the scene when you arrived.
No, he was not.
Okay. Did you gather from the witness how long, I guess, between when you arrived on the scene and when he had left the scene?
It's about 15 minutes.
Okay. Okay, no further questions. 88 Fruit, do you have any questions in response to my questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Attorney Milder, do you have any questions in response to my question?
I did have just a brief follow-up, Officer Kralova. Did the individual inside the store say that Mr. Williams ever met him?
I'm sorry, Attorney Milder, you were breaking up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with my internet connection here. I thought I had good internet. Can you hear me, Officer Kralova?
Yes, I can hear you now.
So you need me to repeat that question?
Please.
Did the gentleman inside the store, the witness, say that he observed Mr. Williams point a firearm at him?
No, he said he did not see where he was pointing at because they shifted to the side away from the glass door.
All right. That's all the other questions I have, Judge.
Okay. Attorney Milder, do you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we're ready for closings. ADA Freeman.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state waives opening.
Okay, Judge, I'm going to ask you to dismiss both points. I don't believe there's any evidence to establish that anything in this asportation of the victim in this case was against her will. This sounds to me like two people that were having a disagreement with one another, and she simply decided to get out of the car. She voluntarily got into the car. She was able to extract herself from the car. An essential element of the charge of kidnapping is that it has to be against the will of the alleged victim. And I don't believe there is any evidence to substantiate that element of this particular offense. With regard to the aggravated assault, the individual inside the store said he never actually saw Mr. Williams point a firearm in his direction. So there was no reasonable apprehension that he was going. The fact that Mr. Williams had a firearm in his possession does not alone establish the offense of aggravated assault or establish probable cause for the offense of aggravated assault. There needs to be some level of reasonable apprehension that the individual is going to sustain, or is that the individual is either going to sustain an injury or that the defendant was pointing the firearm in a threatening manner, and there's no evidence to substantiate that charge. And for those reasons, I would ask that you dismiss both of these warrants.
Okay. ADA Freeman.
Thank you, Judge. The state is asking that both charges be bound over, and Officer Kralova early in her testimony, and it may have been when she was breaking up some, did testify about the statement that the defendant made about it being premeditated. Officer Kralova stated that the victim, yes, she may have voluntarily got into the vehicle, then at some point it changed and she could not get out of the vehicle until they got to a red light and when she jumped out of the car. There were witnesses who indicated that that she was chased by the defendant when she got into the convenience store. The defendant had his gun out to where there was, the possibility that he was going to shoot someone. Judge, we believe that the information that Officer Kalova testified to today is certainly sufficient for probable cause for the aggravated assault as well as the kidnapping. And we were asking that both charges be bound over to Superior Court.
Okay, thank you. Based upon the evidence presented by the parties today, I do find that there is sufficient probable cause to bound over both charges against defendant Kenneth Williams for the charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, as well as the kidnapping charge. It will be bound over to the Superior Court of Clayton County. That is the order of the court today. I thank both ADA Freeman and Attorney Melton for their presentation of their cases today. And that will conclude the preliminary hearing for Kenneth Williams.